I'm gonna paint for you all now. I'm painting on a piece of panel here, 5x7. This is birch panel, I think. Pretty sure it's got these nice thick cradles holding it in place. I like to paint on panel because of the surface. It doesn't absorb paint the way canvas does. I feel like paint sinks into canvas, whereas it sits on top of panel. And so it just shows the texture of the brush strokes more. I'm going to be painting in oil today, if I can open my palette. And I'm painting a hermit thrush. I'll show you the reference I'm using. This is from a video I took in slow motion. I film birds in slow motion with my phone using some binoculars just to get the gist of them. And this is a hermit thrush. This was in my yard in the garden a while ago, so that's what I'm going to be working from. And I'm just going for overall shape. It's not a very high quality photo, but that's okay. I can just get the gist of the color and the shape. And I'm going to kind of rather make up the space around it. I'm just going for the bird overall, and we'll see how much of that will actually become visible to you. And I'll show you my palette that I'm working with. It's not got much paint on it right now. It's a little bit old and dirty. All that I have on it at the moment, I've got some burnt sienna, that looks like ultramarine blue. Here's some titanium white and a color I had mixed. Some cadmium yellow, or maybe a lemon yellow, yellow ochre. There's sap green. I can't remember what kind of green that is. There's phthalo blue. There's some cadmium red, or some equivalent. I'm trying to reduce my use of cadmiums because of their toxicity, but I don't remember the color names of what I've gone for instead. So I'm just calling them cadmiums. And there is quinacridone. And there were a whole bunch of other colors on here, but they have since been used up and scraped off because they dried out. And so I'm trying to keep a clean palette, but that's what I'm working with at the moment. I'll probably add in some colors, but to get started, what I use is, this is not the best example because the label has been ripped off. This is just a China marker. I'll grab another one. I buy these at the hardware store. They're just used to make marks, and they don't, well, they're like crayons really in pencil form. And as you wear down the wax, you pull the string here and peel the paper off, and that exposes the rest of the wax. So instead of sharpening, well, that didn't work out so great. Ideally the paper comes off. Instead of sharpening, you can just peel the paper back and reveal more crayon, but I do also like a fine point, so I sharpen it. And this has run out of string altogether, so we'll see how that goes. But I like to use these because they are, they don't smear as I paint over. I draw out my composition and then paint over the composition. And I used to use vine charcoal, just because that's what I was taught in school. But vine charcoal, first of all, wipes away as soon as you look at it. It just is it does not absorb or stick to the surface that it's on. And thus the paint picks it up and makes it, kind of murky or muddy or grayish. And so, and I also can't get very fine detail out of vine charcoal, for these small paintings. It's fine for larger paintings. But I think Phoebe Gander is a painter. Oh gosh, I'm sorry, Phoebe. I don't remember if she's from Australia or New Zealand, but I follow her on Instagram, and she was using China markers to draw her compositions, and I just thought that's great. And they just come, go to the hardware store or go to Lowe's or Ace Hardware to get them. I've kind of lost my picture. No, come back. So I'm gonna just map out my little composition here, and I hope you enjoy painting along with me. Yeah, here we go. I hope I've got my heater cranked up because it's like 9 degrees outside. So I hope it's not too distracting. I started to make it small head to tail, but I really want this bird to take up this whole space. So let's just do, there's the body and there's the head. And his tail's gonna stick out over here. There we go. I'm using burnt sienna. I've just added that to my palette. No, sorry, burnt umber. Added that to my palette, and I'm putting on some safflower oil on my brush. I'm just gonna, I might want a smaller brush. I think this brush will be fine. I'm just gonna do a little bit of a quick drawing over now using safflower oil. I'm using oil the way that I would use water. I just wet my brush a little bit and get some on the some paint on the brush. And I'm just outlining pretty much the general shapes as I want to fill them in later. But this is what I've gotten used to doing, and actually now I'm questioning, do I want to bother doing this? Let me get this branch into place. I'm used to outlining my subjects, but really I just want to focus on putting in colors, so I'm gonna just go ahead and stop while I'm ahead of myself. But there's the general shape. I'm just wiping the brush off. I'm not too meticulous with cleaning off my brushes as I paint. I want to get a color off, I just wipe the color off on a paper towel. If I really want to get like a deep clean, I'll set it in my linseed oil. You can see this is some really murky, dirty linseed oil. And I just soak my brush in there, and that's fine. When I'm ready to get a deep clean, I will take it to the soap, which I'll show you later. This is a flat brush that I'm going to use now. And I want to just go for it. I just want to go ahead and knock out some of this bird here. I've already got some of this color. You can't really see where I'm pointing. We're just gonna put this away. Maybe it's distracting. Oh, my paint's getting really dry. I love the sound of painting on panels. I don't know, what is that when you like the sound of a thing? ASMR. I don't love all ASMR options out there. Some of them make my skin crawl. But I love the sound of people working in a studio. when I clean my brushes, I just swish them around in the linseed oil, and then I squeeze the oil on the side of the jar. I don't know if you can really see what I'm doing there, but I just kind of twist my brush around and press the oil out from the side, and then I wipe it out with a paper towel. See, I'm really using minimal colors on this bird because that's just the way that it goes, but so far I've used the titanium white, ultramarine blue, burnt sienna, burnt umber, and a little bit of the cadmium yellow. Oh, and then that violet kind of purplish mix, lavender, whatever, lilac. What color would you call that? I don't know. And I don't always also work so much just on the figure straight away. I like to go back and forth between the object and the space around it, but I just got really into this and wanted to keep it going. So I have to do its feet, but now I kind of want to do some sort of background. And I don't like to use that word background because, as I was taught in school, calling it the background treats it like an afterthought, as something less significant or important or less deserving of attention or treatment as the object itself, when in fact I want to treat the entire picture plane with equal painting and brushstrokes and composition, so that then it creates a very cohesive, unified composition and not this like cut out, separate from, removed feeling, which if you're after that look, then that's fine, you can achieve that, but I want my bird to look like it's sitting in space, sitting in its surroundings, or whatever. So I'm going to paint the space around it now, but this is where I get kind of, what should I do? What should I do? I can paint this branch that it's on, of course, and then just fill in the space around it, I guess. We'll start there. And branches aren't always actually brown. They're often shades of gray and blue. Green, they've got all kinds of colors going on in them. So that's what I'm going for here. Ah. Let that soak in oil for now. This is a little stiff. I didn't clean it very well. It's okay, I can just liven it back up. I mean, I love all these brush strokes going on around the bird already, but because the bird is taking up so much space now, I don't really know. I kind of just feel like messing around and making up something around it. I've got some green on my palette that I'm looking at. I wonder if I want to use that. I don't know. This is where I maybe go back and look at some other paintings that I've done and just see what colors spoke to me there. Let's see here. I'm going to bore you for a moment while you sit and wait for me to go through my photo albums. So let's go to year 2022. There was some fun art going on then. Oh yeah, all these purples and bright colors. You know, I have all these birds and branches with these leaves going on, and I could do something like that. That looks so underdeveloped to me now. Shh. don't want it to be super busy, but I want it to be lively and interesting. I think I'm just gonna go for this green that I have on my palette and see where that takes me. And I'm painting right up to the bird, covering that outline. I wish I want a little bit of turquoise on my palette, but I'm too lazy to go get it at this moment. So I'm mixing in some phthalo blue. Oh, that's a lot of phthalo blue. It contaminates so easily. Such a plump bird. What a beautiful plump bird. I like these brush strokes that create little passages of color. These blues alternating with these greens. I'm going to throw in some ultramarine here just to switch it up. And leaving space for those legs and feet. I've got a lot of that green still left on my brush, so I'm just mixing it in. Come back to that green and teal. Oops. Some paint skin. It's quite a plump bird, isn't it? I've got really quite the plump round belly there. I'm gonna go back to my photo and see how it compares. Oh gosh, if I can find it. Oh, I don't think I can find it. I lost it. It was on a video buried in my folder. What I want to do is smooth that out a little bit. I'm actually going to take some light. gonna try painting left-handed here. Slow down. Well, that's something, anyway. I love these little moments where the red, let's see if I can lift this up. The red from the underpainting comes through. It's not really underpainting, it's the wash. Kind of makes the bird look tired, doesn't it? But I do like how that comes through in some spots, so I don't really necessarily want to paint over it. Yeah, I could add some more highlight to that head of his, hers, whomever. Taking just a little bit of white and adding it to that brown mixture that I have going. Yeah, good enough. I think I'm going to leave it there for now. I'll probably touch it up quite a bit, change the space. It does look like it's just like floating in space right now. I might come back into that, but it's pretty wet right now, so I kind of want to let it dry up just a little bit. And then I'll paint the feet too, but oh heck, I don't know. We should go ahead and do the feet, I guess. What brush do I want to use? I'm going to go for this guy. If I can remember correctly, those feet were pretty pink. I'm just gonna jot them in there basically. I'm not going for super high detail realism. This just is a gob of paint, glob, whatever. Just a very quick jotting down of the idea of the feet. Let's go ahead and brighten up this twig a little bit. Yeah, I go ahead. I don't feel like going ahead and splashing some more color in there. Now I want to use, oops, sorry, wobble. Filbert brush. I'm gonna just go at it with that phthalo blue. Boy, it really gets in there. I'm gonna go ahead and add some of that purple that I have going on too. I'm just wanting there to be a little bit more, I don't know, variation in that space around that bird. Oh, I think some ice just melted outside my house. Studio. I'm not in my house. I'm really laying the paint on thick right now. I'm barely using any oil, like safflower oil, medium. It's mostly just pigment or color, whatever the word is. I'm gonna go for some of this funky green that's sitting on here. Got this sort of sagey, not sage, what's the color? It's a very earthy green. Just to get some other color going on in here. And I'm just adding it at random, sort of at random. I'm trying to think about areas of the bird that are dark and areas that are light and what colors up against that. Creating what's called a patterned ground exchange of your darkest dark, or just a dark against a light. Not even your darkest dark, but a dark against a light, light against dark. It just creates this three-dimensionality to what's otherwise a two-dimensional surface. It punctures that space, as my professor in college would say. That flat two-dimensional space gets just a little bit more volume to it. So it's not completely at random where I'm choosing to place the colors, and I'm wanting a little bit of balance and movement, like not just green there, and I want it to be kind of all over the place, but not too much. I like where that's going. I want this to be lighter above the bird. I just want to see that head poke out. So I'm creating sort of like what would be like in a photograph, a blurred, space behind the bird. But it's this mosaic of color and shape. I'm going to add some of this green to the bird itself for some reflected light. So it's not just like green is only existing outside of the bird, and in fact I'm going to add a little bit of that blue too. That also creates sort of a more unified piece where the object is not completely different colors from the space around it. I'm liking where it's at right now. Let's see. Oops. Yeah, I like her. I like her a lot. I think I'm gonna leave her alone for a while. I want to just put something there. I think that's all I want to do with her. I'm gonna go clean my brushes now. I hope you enjoyed painting with me, or watching as I paint anyway. There she is. See if you can get some of that detail and see the texture. See if the glare captures the texture of that paint. It's subtle, but it's there. See a little paint booger there. Yeah, she turned out all right. I might go back in and add some more color, get rid of the red, but I don't know, I like the red in that eye. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments. I want to do more of these little paint with me sessions, and I welcome any and all questions and comments. I might heed them or not. And then as time goes on, I'd like to start doing some actual tutorials about color mixing and composition. But for now, I just want to show you how I just kind of start, get going with a painting and where it goes from there. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed it and that you come back for more. Bye.